that was one of the notes that Megan and I kept getting too, was like, let's make it longer, let's make it longer. And we were like, well, it's not very exciting to just watch a balloon not inflate, like the actual visual of what is happening for the scene, even though it's so important to the season, is kind of anticlimactic.
I'm grateful for all y'all, my friend.
6.
You could be such a cute dad.
It was so fun to kind of think outside the box and be like, how can we elongate the scene? Because I feel like that was one of the notes that Megan and I kept getting too, was like, let's make it longer, let's make it longer. And we were like, well, it's not very exciting to just watch a balloon not inflate, like the actual visual of what is happening for the scene, even though it's so important to the season, is kind of anticlimactic. So I remember like once Chris was like, oh, let's lead into the flashbacks even more, like Meg and I kind of like made a list of like, okay, what are all the things that like everyone could be thinking of in this moment? Like Chris gave us some ideas to start with too. And then we were like, oh, maybe this. And it was just really fun to kind of like go back and like think about what those little moments would be to kind of put us right into the character's head. And having this kind of like music too of like, okay, it's hopeful, but it's a little bit suspenseful. And JQ, our composer for that track, just like, I think he did so many different versions, and I'm so happy with where we landed because it was great.
Yeah, JQ really pulled through with that one. I feel like in the end it was kind of a mixture of 2 different tracks that he had like written and composed, because there are kind of like 2 tones happening there. And we did actually think of some moments for Fac of what he would be thinking of, but in the end it was just like, it should just be like pop, 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 just like he's just focusing on this, and like, let's kind of shock everyone with some loud pops for a second and just think like, wow, what if it does pop? This scene, even though it is like the crux of the episode, there wasn't a ton of coverage of it. We kind of had that one panning shot of everybody, a couple close-ups of Carmy, and a couple like close-ups of the inspector. And yeah, there wasn't a ton to work with, but I feel like the pacing was going well. We got the sound effects in there. And then once we showed the first cut to Chris, he had an idea about why don't we add in Carmy like looking at the burners of the stove, and then like there's fire. And so we immediately thought of episode 108, the finale of the first season, where Carmy's in the kitchen at the beef and the stove catches on fire, and he's just kind of standing there in a trance, thinking about burning the whole place down. And so we went back to that footage and were able to grab like a pretty good match cut of the stove just going up in flames and seeing the fire on Carmy's face. And then once we kind of dove into that world of using flashbacks, Chris was just kind of like, this is great, let's build it up more and more.
Says here the chief operating officer is Natalie Berzatto.
Correct, I am Natalie Berzatto.
Congrats, Natalie Berzatto, you have a restaurant.
Yeah!